Welcome to SS1 Fine Art. This lesson covers sculpture with a focus on armature and form, the internal framework and three-dimensional structure that supports and gives shape to sculptural works. Sculpture is one of the oldest art forms in human history, and Nigeria has an extraordinary sculptural tradition stretching back over 2,000 years. Sculpture is three-dimensional artwork created by shaping or combining materials such as clay, stone, metal, wood, or found objects. Unlike painting and drawing, which create the illusion of form on a flat surface, sculpture occupies real space and can be experienced from multiple viewpoints. Sculptures exist in two main formats. Freestanding sculptures, also called sculpture in the round, can be viewed from all sides. A statue of a person, an animal figurine, or a bowl are freestanding. Relief sculptures project from a flat background surface and are viewed primarily from the front. They range from low relief, bas-relief, where forms project only slightly, to high relief, where forms project dramatically. Nigeria has a magnificent sculptural heritage. The Nok terracotta sculptures, dating from around 1000 BC to 300 CE, are among the oldest known human figurative sculptures in sub-Saharan Africa, discovered in the Jos Plateau region of central Nigeria. The bronze casting tradition of Ife and the Kingdom of Benin produced works of extraordinary technical sophistication from the 12th to 18th centuries. The famous Benin bronzes, technically cast in brass and bronze using the lost wax method, depicted the Oba, court officials, warriors, and symbolic animals in detailed relief and freestanding form. An armature is an internal framework or skeleton that supports the sculptural material during the creation process and in the finished work. Just as the human skeleton supports the body, the armature supports the sculpted form. Without an armature, clay or other soft materials would collapse under their own weight when built to any significant size. Armatures are especially important when sculpting the human figure, animals, or any form with extended elements like outstretched arms or legs that cannot support themselves. Armature materials vary depending on the scale of the work and the material being used. For small to medium clay sculptures, aluminium wire is ideal. It is soft enough to be bent by hand into any position but strong enough to hold the sculptural mass. Galvanized or stainless steel wire is used for larger works. Steel rod and pipe create armatures for monumental bronze castings. Wood and metal pipes create armatures for large papier-mâché works. A wire armature for a human figure begins with the spine, a single wire representing the central axis of the body from the top of the head to the feet. From this, wires extend to represent the pelvis, ribcage, arms, legs, hands, and feet. The figure can be posed at this wire stage before any clay is added. This is called posing the armature. Once the armature is in the desired pose, clay is packed around it to build up the form. Form in sculpture refers to the three-dimensional mass of the work. Every sculpture has primary forms, the large, dominant masses, and secondary forms, the smaller details that articulate and refine the surface. When approaching a sculpture, a student should begin by establishing the primary forms correctly before adding secondary detail. In clay figure sculpture, the primary forms are the head, ribcage mass, and pelvis mass. Secondary forms include the muscles, facial features, and clothing detail. Surface texture is another key element in sculpture. Surfaces can be smooth and polished, suggesting refinement and precision. They can be rough and textured, created by tools that leave marks, suggesting energy, expressiveness, or the quality of materials. They can be deliberately modeled to show anatomical forms, muscles, tendons, fabric folds. Sculptors use a range of tools to shape and texture surfaces, wooden and wire sculpting tools for modeling clay, chisels and gouges for stone and wood carving, files and rasps for refining forms in plaster. The concept of positive and negative space is important in sculpture. Positive space is the solid mass of the sculpture itself. Negative space is the empty space within and around the sculpture. Thoughtfully designed negative space, a hole through a sculpture, the space beneath an outstretched arm, is as important to the visual experience of a sculpture as the solid material itself. Today we covered that sculpture is three-dimensional artwork existing in real space. The main formats are freestanding and relief sculpture. Nigeria has an outstanding sculptural heritage including Nok terracotta, the Alife bronze tradition, and the Benin bronzes. An armature is the internal framework, usually wire or metal, that supports the sculptural material. For figure sculpture, the wire armature is built around the span axis and posed before clay is added. Form refers to the three-dimensional mass, primary forms first, then secondary detail. Surface texture communicates quality, energy, and character. Positive space is solid mass, negative space is empty space. For your exercise, using aluminium wire or any available wire, construct a small armature of a seated or standing human figure approximately 15 cm tall.